Thank you for organising this meeting. I think it's really important that we keep raising the question of Iran, and it really is the Friends of Free Iran, which our group is here and is expanding, I think, all the time. It's this group that is really the centre for Iranian democracy, the pro-democracy movement. And I think that actually, in the past 3 years or so, we are really getting our message across. So this is a really worthwhile Friends group to belong to, and I have great hope that things are making progress. I think it's very interesting that Maryam Rajavi began the international campaign to seek justice for the victims of the 1988 massacre. And this is really starting to gain momentum. And in a world where there is so much injustice and brutality and really massacre of innocents, it is, I think, we should pay tribute, particularly to Maryam Rajavi, for managing to keep this issue in the forefront of public opinion, and I think she has really shaken the Rouhani regime. I think they are very worried about what they see, and quite rightly so. Now, many people, even inside the regime, are now calling for those responsible for the 1988 massacre to be prosecuted. However, I think one thing we should never forget is that, in fact, Rouhani has just appointed as a new justice minister one of those on the blacklist who was a member of the death commission back in southern Iran in 1988, Alireza Avai, who now, there we have, in fact, a criminal as a member of the Iranian regime's government. So that leads me to really deplore the way that the High Representative, Mrs. Mogherini, has been representing the EU by going to Iran and extending a hand of friendship which is not deserved. And I can tell you that Mrs. Mogherini does not do it for me. She is not speaking in my name. And I think there are many members in this Parliament who would say, not in my name. We demand some action on human rights and a recognition that democracy means allowing parties to be formed, allowing politicians to stand. We all, above anything else, value democracy and elected office. And it is quite extraordinary that the European Union, that bulwark of democracy, is not holding Iran to account and saying, we are not going to do deals with you, we are not going to have trade until you recognise proper human rights. And I think that rather than end on that, let me end on a note of hope. I see Maryam Rajavi as providing enormous hope, not just to the people of Iran, but actually to people across the world. If we can have a democratically elected Muslim woman in charge of that country, that is a terrific step forward, and it gives us all a message of hope that Islamic fundamentalism will actually, it is the largest enemy we face as a world. But if we could have someone like Maryam Rajavi, a Muslim woman who is opposed to all that fundamentalism, if we could see her in place, then I think that gives us all hope that we will see this Islamic fundamentalism finally defeated. Thank you.